Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano. In this video we're going to take a look at the Cardano chart, also the Bitcoin chart. I'll give you a market overview and we take a look at what can we expect, how high can Bitcoin actually go this cycle, based on important indicators. So let's start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still sort of moving sideways. I mean, it is not really an impulsive move to the upside that we can see here. The Ethereum chart looks much better. It's just moving sideways pretty much at the moment, finding a little bit of support here on the 20-day moving average. Actually today we actually broke below the 20-day moving average, and I did say yesterday we need to break above that wave B here. If we don't do that, then it is still quite probable that we could come down into that area here between 54 and 57k. Again, that's actually what I still expect primarily, because even though we touched the target area or actually came into it, we still since then haven't seen that impulsive move to the upside. So I still think that is a very likely scenario to dip once more into this target area before we then continue our way to the upside. And to be honest, at the moment, we just don't see that impulsive move to the upside. We're moving sideways, and it's nothing really that gives us a direction of where it's going. So because it's not doing that, in my view, we could still come back down into that level. But again, nobody knows. So that ABC, we already came into my target area, even though only very briefly. But if I compare Bitcoin to Ethereum, Ethereum looks just much stronger structurally as well. And with Ethereum, in my last Ethereum Elliott Wave video, I told you that my primary expectation would be to move to the a new all-time high, and we are actually doing that at the moment. Whereas here with Bitcoin, I'm a bit skeptical still, still a bit skeptical. So as I said, we could come down once more into this area here before we then continue our way to the upside. That is my expectation, my primary expectation for Bitcoin. Now let's take a look at Cardano. Cardano, I told you yesterday, the chart is looking really good from a also an Elliott Wave count point of view. I told you yesterday, I showed you this wave 1, 2, 3, 4, which was then invalidated. So that downtrend was invalidated. It's looking good. We touched the target area already, came down to that target area with a difference of 1 cent. So it really worked well. And I bought yesterday, I told you, I think very soon we can expect here finally the upswing. However, it is not fully, with that move up yesterday, because the downtrend was invalidated, that immediate downtrend, it indicates that the probability that we move up gets much higher. Still though, it is a valid possibility, and that would work very well with the Bitcoin scenario, that we come once more into the target range between 145 and 181. So that is still a possibility, and as long as we don't really see that break here above maybe even 245, which is basically above that high here, on the 25th of September, it is still quite likely that we get back into this range. But it's looking good. I bought here because you never know, from here we could have gone up straight away. If we dip into that area again, I'll buy more. This is currently a bullish setup. The chart looks good. From an Elliott Wave point of view, it is very positive. It looks really good. It looks really good, and I think this thing will kick off. Again, of course, nobody knows. I could be totally wrong here, but that is my opinion, and I can only talk about my opinion here on the chart. Also showed you here on the weekly how strong that actually looks, and if we compare it to what we did before, if we touched that 200-day moving average in the past, here in July, we moved up very strongly after that. It did happen here before. We touched the 200-day moving average, moved up very strongly, came back, pulled back to the 200-day moving average, and moved up again. And now we're touching it again, and maybe from here we move up. But as you can see, we have a little bit of space down here. We could come down slightly below the 200-day moving average again. Besides that, not much to talk about on the Cardano price and chart, but I wanted to make the video very interesting, and I think I've got something very important for you. I want to talk about, when can we actually expect this cycle top this year or early next year? What price can we reasonably expect for Bitcoin, which would then also have a certain impact on Ethereum, Cardano, and the other altcoins. So let's talk about the different indicators here, and I want to point out 3 in particular. So this is the P cycle top indicator. I talked about it in a previous video, and this indicator is very important. What you can see, you've got basically four cycle tops since 2000 and 2012, 2013. 2013 would be the first cycle top here. Then I think in the same year we actually had a second cycle top. And I've been talking about this, I think, for months. I mean, I did mention it, I know, in July, that this year's cycle actually resembles 2013 very closely. You know, I think we also had around June, July, about early in the year, around April, May, we had a peak back here, and then we had a dip, and then it started to move. I think it was, I haven't looked it up again, but I think it was around July in that period as well, in that year, that we started to move up again. And we had the same this year as well. Yeah, so you can see that was, I think, where I've got my mouse here, that was, I think, around July time. From then we obviously moved up. Now you can see these cycle peaks here, and you can, this indicator actually historically has always very, very closely, I think with only a few days difference, predicted the absolute cycle top. So you've got two moving averages here on this chart, and you've got, first of all, the blue line is the price of Bitcoin, and then you've got the orange line, which is the 111-day moving average, and then you've got the green line, which is the 350-day moving average multiplied with 2. Now, whenever that green line crossed above the orange line, whenever the orange line crossed above the green line, a few days after that, you could expect a cycle top, yeah, or a few days before. But I think generally it was very, very, very close. And whenever that happened, I think it was actually after that, you could expect a cycle top. You can see that here. We had that exactly at the cycle top here in 2013. Then you had it here again. Pretty much whenever that crossing took place, you had the cycle top. Here as well, whenever the crossing took place, that was 2018 or 2017, you had the cycle top. Here again, it happened in, this was probably May, April. It happened again here, and that predicted the cycle top. And what I think is now likely, that we see a certain situation similar to 2013, where we come up once more because we have a little bit more space to the upside. And if we then, and this time I will stay very, very close to it, if we see this signal flashing, I'm going to sell most of my short-term holdings, yeah, and probably also a significant amount of my long-term holdings. This is, it has worked 4 times. In my view, this is one of the most reliable Bitcoin price indicators in terms of identifying the cycle top. Yeah. So again, it has worked 4 times, and it has predicted the cycle top every single time. Yeah. So I'm gonna pay very, very close attention to that. As you can see with these 2 lines at the moment, there is a lot of space still. We have quite a bit of space still to move to the upside. Probably at, you know, we could get something around 80, 90,000. Yeah. So let's take a look at another indicator. Let's take a look at the stock to flow model for Bitcoin. We are currently also here, just below the predicted level, and the predicted level I think is around 80,000. So I just mentioned 80,000 already. We historically have normally in the peak we did overshoot the target price. So we could maybe, you know, if we overshoot a little bit, maybe we could get to the 100K, maybe even a little bit more. Yeah, but this is pretty much this can predict the price also. Yeah, and was very reliable. But the P cycle indicator or the pi cycle indicator gives you a very clear, basically a very clear signal that within a few days, or it's imminent, that we have reached the cycle top. And then what I wanted to show you is the golden ratio multiplier, very, very important one. I haven't mentioned about it on this, about this one on this channel. And this is really, it just proves that technical analysis works. There are so many people who say, you know, Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in general, or even Cardano, don't work according to the Elliott Waves. Technical analysis doesn't work, but no, this is proof that technical analysis works. Because what we can see here, that historically, what you can see, these bands that you can see here, these are Fibonacci extension levels. And I've always mentioned Fibonacci, you know, I generally use Fibonacci extension levels in my TA, and I mention them on this channel a lot, you know, in terms of price targets and so on. Now, if you take a look at this chart, it started 2012 or you know, even before. 2010. You see these cycle tops here, one in 2011, 2013, 2013, 2017, yeah, and then again here. So whenever you had these major cycle tops, you've got these different bands and they are different extension levels. So you had a cycle top here in 2011 and you reached that cycle top, that extension level, yeah, that highest extension level. When you move forward then to the next cycle top, you can see that you dropped one extension level lower. Yeah, that means you did not reach the same extension level anymore like before. That means the price increase is lower than it was before. And that makes sense because, as you know, you can understand that with Bitcoin, we say these days that it's hard to 10x your money. So that means that over time these price increases get flat and flat and flat, less parabolic. Now we move then to the next cycle top, and we moved again one extension level lower. We moved then to the next one, which was 2017. Actually, after we hit that top, we had a long bear market. So then we reached another top here in 2017, and again, one lower extension level. Then we reached another cycle top here in April 21 or March. Was it March, April? And we hit the another lower extension level, and this was called here on this chart the 3 upper bull high. Now with the next, this makes it very likely that with the next top, which is now expected, we will reach the next extension level or the next lower extension level, which is that red line here. And that predicts a price of 85K, very well in line with the stock to flow model, very well in line with the Pi cycle indicator. This is very, very likely our target, 85, 86K. I know many people expect more, and I actually do as well. But in this case, it is very likely, according to what happened in the past, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in the past, we dropped one extension level from top to top. Why would it be different this time? Yeah, explain it to me. I don't know. This would indicate, I just show you what I see here. This would indicate that we only reached the 2 low bull high in the next top, which would happen in December, January maybe. And that would be at around $85,000, $86,000. That means to me, when we reach that level, I become very, very cautious. Yeah, I'll become very, very cautious. So these are basically, this makes it for me very likely that we will most likely reach prices in the 85K target range, maybe even a little bit higher. I'd love to, maybe we don't this time switch to a lower extension level. Maybe we keep that purple one here that we already reached in March, April. That would then indicate that we can get to a level of around $130,000. Just wanted to show that to you. It makes it more transparent, that whole, when is the cycle top thing. And I talked to the channel members in my last live stream about the alt season and when I think the alt season will take place. And I think I will make a video for everyone on this channel very soon about that as well, just to give you another idea. But I hope that video was useful. It should have been, because this really, really shows that TA works. It shows that these extension level work, and in the end, Elliott Waves also are based on these extension levels to a certain degree, and also to the retracement levels. And it just shows that technical analysis works. Alright, so hopefully you liked that video. If you did, please smash the like button. And if you want to follow me on this crypto journey, please subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.